I'll be honest, I've never had this many notes written down for a championship
Holy,
interview,
it might actually
so,
be 15 minutes.
yeah.
Let's start with two-handed bowling is indeed cheating.
All right, Darren Tang, winner of the PBA Chameleon Championship, second career title, first player to win titles one-handed and two-handed
That's crazy.
in the history of the PBA Tour. I don't even know where to start with
I
this.
don't either.
You beat Boog after he almost shot 300. You beat Santu, arguably the most powerful two-hander in the world, and you beat Belmo, who you described as the greatest of all time. How do you describe what you just achieved tonight?
Oh, there's some pretty good two-handers. I don't know. I mean, I see them all as my peers now. I compete against them day in and day out, and nothing but respect to all of them. Boog is a fantastic player. So is Santu. Obviously, I think Belmo is the greatest player, not just two-handed, but to ever play the game. So for it to end the way it did, I'm speechless.
Talk to me about the 10th frame. The last two frames really didn't go the way you wanted there. You're sitting there on the bench, and you have to hope that, as you described, the greatest of all time doesn't strike. That's got to be a pretty weird position to be in.
Yeah, it was pretty clear he was uncomfortable. So I wasn't hoping he would miss. I was just mentally preparing for the 9th and 10th frame roll-off. I was really between making the ball change or sticking to what I was doing and just trying to absolutely ace him. I didn't throw the greatest shots all night by any means, but, I mean, I stuck to my bread and butter. It's really finding MOE, giving myself as much margin of error as possible. And, I definitely had it against Boog. And then when they ran them again, they were significantly more difficult. So I did catch a couple of breaks against Belmo in the first game, but as you saw the last game, it was almost like a who wants it less.
You started the game off with a double, and you let out a bit of a yell. I feel like you could start to kind of taste it a little bit at that moment.
Yeah, I didn't make the greatest shot, but I saw it was online and it had a chance. So I just got a little excited because it ended up striking.
All right. It's been 1,730 days between titles for you. How good does it feel? Not one-handed, two-handed, whatever. Just to be back in the winner's circle with a trophy right there. Be back on top of the tour.
Nolan, 1, I don't think I have the mental capacity to think about numbers right now. 2, I did go to the boys during one of the breaks. I think it was after the first game, actually, and I just said, I feel so free. There was no pressure. Obviously, there's nerves, but there wasn't really the pressure of winning like I put myself in or put on myself in the past. Like I took it as you don't know how many of these opportunities that you're going to have, so you have to get it done now. And that is just an enormous weight to put on your shoulders. And I came in this week, I made 3 shows, and I had the confidence that I would be able to make shows year in and year out now. So this was a really big week for me, confidence-wise, and putting myself back in the position to be able to do what we do.
You spoke about not feeling the pressure to win. When you won your first title, we talked at that point, and you said the exact same thing. You said, I bowled, I didn't feel like I had any pressure to win.
Yeah, I've been knocking on the door for the last 6 events or so now. I mean, I feel like I've been bowling really good since the Masters, and the biggest thing I've kind of changed mentally is acceptance. Whether strike, split, stone 8, lose a match, you just accept it and move on, and it's made it a lot easier for me to make better shots going like after leaving a split or missing a spare. Accept that it happened, move on, and just keep playing the game.
All right, Belmo comes up light on that shot. You win the title, and you look straight for your mom, who comes running over. You get to hug her on Mother's Day. I know you've told me in the past she's your go-to supporter.
Mm-hmm.
What did that moment mean to you?
I mean, it was something I've been thinking about for days now because I knew this show was on Mother's Day, and yeah, I mean, our family's not big on gift giving. My mom is huge on giving gifts, though, but my brother and I followed her more like my dad. Like, it's our birthday. Okay, cool. It's just another day. But it always kind of flies over our head to get gifts. So kind of knowing the kind of parents they are, I thought that, if I could win, this would be the greatest gift possible.
Yeah, I was rereading some quotes that you told me last time after you won a few years ago, and it's funny that it's kind of come full circle in a way, because you were talking about how many pros are out here like talking about quitting, blah, 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 and you were kind of having the same sort of thoughts. And she said, okay, then quit. What are you doing out here? And you said that was a big kind of like awakening for you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think any parent wants to hear their kids self-deprecate and kind of spiral. You just see it too often out here. The expectations are so high, the talent's so high out here that you expect yourself to put yourself in a position to win all the time. And if you look at win percentages, our greatest or our most winning player of all time wins less than 5% of the time. So just taking that into account and looking at the big picture, like, you got to take the opportunities when they come, make the best of them. But when they don't go your way, you got to find a way to keep going.
Something else I read back then, this was a gem of some quotes the last time.
Okay.
You said, I've never really had quick success in my career. I was late to making Team USA.
Oh, this is crazy.
I was late to making Team USA. At college, I didn't really get there until my last year. The tour, it took a while. Now you switch to two-handed and you win a title in 15 months.
I think this is a culmination of all those experiences. Feeling the pain of, being short, having to go through the process of working as hard as humanly possible just to keep up. And then now finally having the tools I needed to be competitive. I mean, my dad for years, you need more power, you need more power, you need more power. I'm like, Dad, no one's ever told me that. No high-level coach has ever told me that. I guess Dad's right more often than not, but I'm sure he's going to give me a hard time about that later. But I know he's about as happy as he'd be right now.
All right, the last quote I pulled from that, you said it was a matter of when, not if, I'm going to win my first title. Did you feel the same way when you switched to two-handed? Did you have that level of confidence in yourself to win again?
Yeah, I mean, especially once I started knocking on the door and trying to, getting really close to making shows. I mean, if everything went the right way the last 6 months, I could have made 5 or 6 shows because I found myself in the top 5 after qualifying a bunch of times. I mean, it's one thing to get there after qualifying. It's another thing to stay there after everything's all said and done, which is the harder part. So, I mean, Wes Malott said this years ago, and I'm sure he still believes it, but you have to learn how to do everything in waves. You got to learn how to do the qualifying. You have to learn how to bowl through match play. You have to learn how to make the show, and then you have to learn how to bowl on the show. So I took that to heart, and I think I've kind of figured out how to bowl in qualifying now, fairly consistently. But the biggest thing, giving myself opportunities out here, and I didn't even. Of course I wanted to win. The expectation wasn't really to win. It was, I'm going to gain experience no matter what. So even if I don't win tonight, I have a show tomorrow. And even though I did win, I'm taking the experience from out here, and I'm definitely taking it into tomorrow and then the World Championships next month.
Yeah, I feel like that was evident early on. You shot a spare. I think two-handed. I don't think it.
Oh,
God,
it wasn't even close.
Like, this is the learning process here. And it was like probably the second frame of the night tonight, and then you just rode that all the way to a title. It
was the second spare, but no, it was Chris is on the camera right here, by the way. But he said, and I was in the same boat. There was no way my first shot wasn't going to be a 10-pin because that's going to be the hardest one for me to shoot two-handed. Which I literally for score, that is the first time I've shot spares two-handed.
What drove you to make that decision tonight?
I missed enough of them throughout the week. 66 games of, Darren, what are you doing?
Well, the bold decision there paid off. You made. I think this is probably where we probably should have started tonight, which is we've talked about you switching to two-hand and all that, but I mean the reality is you bet your career on a change that no one's ever done before, and now you're here in the winner's circle. Like, how proud of you, or what word would you use to describe how? I mean, that's as big a bet anyone's ever made on the tour.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay in the moment. And, it seems like a question that I would ask myself after the season's done to really kind of soak it in. But I want to shout out Bill O'Neill. He said something after the Cashers round of the World Championships. He just pulled me aside. I thought I did something. I was like, oh, my God, why is Bill going to yell at me? But he gave me props for making the switch and having the success I'm having now. And he said, yeah, you deserve it, man. Like, a lot of people come out here and they just complain about their problems and they don't do anything different. But you did something that most guys wouldn't even think twice to do, and now it's panning out pretty well. So shout out to Bill.
Bill's always good for those.
I love Bill. I mean, I used to have a group chat. He shimwrecked me one year at the Masters, and it was like a skill diff problem. It was more like I wasn't good enough, and he beat me. I made the show, by the way, and he didn't, but that's besides the point. But we had a chat, like 5 of us. It was F Bill. We had that chat for the longest time. Like, I never really hated Bill. I just hated, like, what happened. But it's just funny that we had a group chat like that, and now Bill's the guy telling me, hey, man, like, big ups. So, respect.
That's incredible. I saw you talking to Tom Clark after you won there as well. As soon as you won, he was like, first to win, one-handed, two-handed. Nobody cares about the history of the game more than him. So what did he have to say to you?
No, he literally came up. He said, "I want a picture with her." He was talking about my mom because my mom's very social, very extroverted. So this is where this is her scene. She loves talking to people. She loves making fans happy. She's literally feeding all of the tournament directors muffins. And I looked at Toby Contreras and I said, "You want me to make more shows, and not because you want me to make more shows. You want more muffins." So. Yeah, Tom wanted a picture with Mom and the trophy, and I think he knew this was pretty special.
You now have the same amount of titles as the guy standing to my right here in Chris Vi.
I was gonna say no, but he's got 1.5 and a half. So him. My roommates are still. They push me to be the best I could be. They're both in my eyes still far and beyond where I'm at in my career. Just experience and the level of play, how physically sound they are, and the fact that they're in my corner helping me, I think is just speeding up the process. So I appreciate them like nothing else.
We spoke a couple of days ago about the potential of a Darren Tang, Jason Belmonte two-handed matchup in the World Championship. Came a few weeks early here, but you told me at the time that you heard from a few two-handers that. And I couldn't tell if this was how serious they were being or how much they were joking with you.
I'm sure
but
it was a joke.
They were, they said, if you beat me two-handed, I'm going to retire.
Wait, you were there. Did one of them sound, was it serious?
One sounded a little more serious than the other.
And it was the one that said it first, right? Yeah. We won't name any two-handers, but one said that I would never beat him two-handed. The other one said he would retire if I beat him in a tournament. And they're both still bowling on the tour. So
was one of them bowling on the show tonight?
Will not confirm nor deny.
All right, Darren Tang, any final thoughts?
I just want to say I want to shout out all the fans, all the supporters. Thank you so much. I know the internet is a really toxic place, really weird place. And if you have hopes of chasing your dreams and playing on the biggest stage, no matter what it is, you're gonna have haters. You just have to move on, and that's how you know you made it. If you got people hating on you, you're doing something right. So take it and run. Go get you one of these.
All right, DT, two-time champion.